Hello there. Do you know what happens to the food that we eat? Yeah, it gets digested in the digestive system, during which the complex biomolecules in it are converted into the simpler form. One such simplified biomolecule is glucose. The glucose is absorbed in the blood and is transported to various parts of the body by the blood vessels. It finally reaches the cell where these cells, by performing certain metabolic pathways, convert this glucose into an energy rich molecule called as ATP. Hello there, this is Gaurav from Gaurav Tutorials, and in today's video we will be discussing about glycolysis. So, if we can take a look at the name and we split it into two halves, we come across this glycose, which means sugar, and lysis, which means splitting or breakdown. So I can define glycolysis as splitting of sugar. There were these guys called as Gustav Amden, Otto Meyerhof, and J. Parnas. They are credited with the discovery of the glycolytic pathway. If the initials of their names are considered, glycolysis can also be called as EMP pathway. If we can look into the structure of the cell, we can find it has a nucleus, it has various organelles, and the matrix of the cell, the cytoplasm. Yeah, the cytoplasm happens to be the site of glycolysis. During the process of glycolysis, a molecule of glucose which contains 6 carbon is partially oxidized to form this acid called as pyruvic acid. The molecule of pyruvic acid can have 3 carbon in its structure. One can ask a question, where did this glucose come from? Glucose can come from sucrose, which is a product of photosynthesis, or it can also be derived from the stored carbohydrates. For animal it's glycogen and for plants it's starch. The sucrose, when acted upon by the enzyme called as invertase, splits itself into its constituent monosaccharides. Those are the 2 molecules of glucose. There are many intermediates formed during glycolysis which are used for synthesis of proteins, fats, and nucleic acid. It has been observed that the process of glycolysis operates in 2 subsequent stages. The first stage is called as the preparatory phase. The second one is called as oxidative phase. During the preparatory phase, it is found that the glucose is broken down and along the course of this thing, energy is used. While on the other hand, during the oxidative phase, high energy bonds are formed and energy is stored here in the form of ATP. Now let us try to understand the steps of glycolysis. Enzyme hexokinase acts on glucose, during which ATP is dephosphorylated to form ADP. The product that we get here is glucose 6-phosphate. By the action of the enzyme phosphohexose isomerase, we find during the irreversible reaction, glucose 6-phosphate gets converted into its isomer, which is fructose 6-phosphate. By the action of the enzyme phosphofructokinase, we find ATP gets dephosphorylated and forms ADP. Now since we have got one more phosphate here, it gets added to the first position and the product we get is fructose 1,6-bisphosphate or biphosphate. Fructose 1,6-biphosphate splits itself by the action of aldolase on it to form dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Both of them are interconvertible. The reactions from glucose to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate form a part of preparatory phase. As we saw, DHAP and glyceraldehyde are interconvertible. It is acted upon by the enzyme phosphotriose isomerase and we get 2 molecules of PGAL, which is acted upon by the phosphoglyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase in a reversible reaction. During this, NAD gets reduced to form NADH. Also, inorganic phosphates are added during this reaction and we find glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate gets converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Further, when it undergoes a reversible reaction with the enzyme phosphoglyceric acid kinase, it gets the phosphorylation of ADP going and forms ATP. Since one of the phosphate from the 1,3-biphosphoglycerate is removed, we get 3-phosphoglycerate. This reaction is called as substrate level phosphorylation. It's a very important point. The 3-phosphoglycerate that we have undergoes reversible reaction with the help of the enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase, and there is a repositioning of the phosphate group, forming the product 2-phosphoglycerate. The 2-phosphoglycerate would again undergo a reversible reaction with the help of the enolase enzyme. During this, we must remember that a molecule of water is released. And along with this, the product that we get is phosphoenol pyruvate, or you can also call it as phosphoenol pyruvic acid. It gets acted upon by pyruvate kinase, during which ADP gets phosphorylated to form ATP, and we get the product of our interest, that is pyruvic acid. So the reactions from PgAl to pyruvic acid forms a part of oxidative phase of glycolysis. So what is the function of this pyruvic acid? Pyruvic acid can undergo anaerobic respiration in absence of oxygen. It can undergo aerobic respiration in presence of oxygen. Had it gone anaerobic respiration, it could have entered into the muscles and could have undergone lactic acid fermentation. In yeast, it could have undergone alcoholic fermentation. For undergoing the aerobic respiration, the pyruvic acid enters into the Krebs cycle. So that is it, guys. I hope you would have liked the video. Please hit the like, share button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe as well. Thank you very much.